We're going to get to today's topic here very shortly, but I am dragging ass today. And so the lovely and talented Devin is downstairs making your boy a cup of coffee, because your boy definitely needs it. Your boy definitely needs it. Faux show. For show. Interruptible. What does that mean? I have no idea what this means. All right. Okay, guys. Arturo's in the house. Good to see you. Guys, if you would, do your boy a favor. Clap that like button like we clap these cheeks out here in these streets. Oh, bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, dude, I am dragging all kinds of ass today. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. All right, hopefully that'll get some wind in my sails here. Because normally I do the update, or not the update. Normally I do the introduction and all that good stuff. and I'm still gonna do that, obviously. Just want to make sure that everything is good to go. Blazanity's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you, my friend. Okay. I tell you what, man. Oh my God. All right, now I got to pull up everything else. And wait a minute, there it is. All right, very good. Good, 58 people watching. I appreciate you guys getting the likes up. Got 24 likes. Appreciate that. Let's try to get those up. Also, quick announcement: at the conclusion of today's live stream, we are going to be doing a double header. We're going to be doing a double feature today. We're going to be doing a double feature today. We're going to be breaking down both Temptation Island and the Big D. So definitely stay tuned for that. It is weird how quickly coffee just enters the bloodstream, isn't it? I know this is boring sitting here watching me drink coffee, guys, but you know what? I think I am just about ready. I do apologize. Every once in a while I need a little bit. Every once in a while I need a jump start. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting on up there in age. I'm 46. I'm not 26, but I feel good. So without further ado, TSR Live. Here we go. A woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn. You lost your edge, she lost attraction for you. That's how it works. What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man, Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 998th edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, and small dick energy. Of course, my moving camera picks just now to malfunction, so give me a second here. Let's, give me a second here. There we go. There we go. All right, good. Okay, perfect. We do it live, boys. We do it live. Yeah, welcome to the 998th edition of TSR Live. Thank you guys for joining me today. As I said in my de facto opening salvo, at the conclusion of this particular live stream, I will be doing a double feature. I'll be breaking down Temptation Island, and then the Big D right after that. So looking forward to that. Missed it yesterday. Got to do it today. It was a 4-hour live stream yesterday, so you know, your boys got to get a break. Ken Rose with the early $5 super chat. I appreciate that very, 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 very much. Thank you so much for that, my friend. 82 of you watching. We got 39 likes. Let's try to keep the engagement at 50%. Let's try and keep it at 50%. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here and get into today's topic. And I'm going to pick up where I left off last time when discussing this. And so, matter of fact, you know what? We're going to do this. I know this isn't very professional. I told you guys, I was dragging ass, man. Holy moly. So just bear with me here, guys. I know this is kind of wacky, but I promise you, it's going to be worth it. And it appears that I've gotten my my background music. It appears that I've gotten my background monologue music. Looks like that's back under control. Looks like I've gotten that dialed in real nice. And so I haven't had too many complaints about it. Heather tells me that people are still complaining about it. And I think they're just complaining about it because they've heard other people complaining about it and just want a reason to talk trash. That's just fine. It is what it is. All right, so let's go ahead and get this party started. So, temptation is something of a dirty word these days, right? They say don't get complacent. You'll lose your edge. You'll lose your drive. You'll get lazy, etc., etc. Now, men and women alike would agree that complacency breeds lethargy. Complacency breeds lethargy, apathy, and a lackadaisical attitude. Guys, this is 286% true. And it applies to just about any situation you can think of. For example, if player X has the season of his life and gets rewarded with a record-breaking contract, that does have the potential to make him complacent. Maybe he's not going to practice as hard. Maybe he won't watch as much film. Maybe he won't play through injuries like he did before he signed the big contract. If an employee is always told they're doing a great job and that they are instrumental to the success of the company and that they are indispensable, we don't know what we'd do without you, that employee might have a tendency to get lazy. May not focus as much, may not pay attention to detail like he did when he first started with the company. Guys, I could give dozens and dozens and dozens of examples, but you guys get the point. But I will discuss the most prevalent example of complacency, and it has affected us all. It has affected every single one of us. And that is relationship complacency. And it usually goes a little something like this. Guy meets a girl, they start dating, they get comfortable with each other, and before they know it, they're both overweight, they're not having as much fun, not having as much bedroom fun, right? Not as much cheek clapping going on, and they don't really work at improving their relationships. When and if they break up, they'll both look back and realize that they both got lazy because they both got complacent. They lost the motivation to be their best for each other. But here is where the path for men and women within the context of sexual relationships tend to diverge. Men don't embrace complacency, and women do. Now the question becomes, why do men do their level best to avoid complacency while women do their level best to achieve it? Why do men and women look at complacency so differently? Well, the first reason is that we are different, obviously. Men and women view and react to different situations very differently. That's the obvious first answer. The second answer is a little more involved. Let me explain. A man in demand knows that if he gets lazy, if he starts to get complacent, every part of his life's going to suffer, guys. Every part. His fitness level, his discipline, his drive, the quality of his work, his finances, everything suffers. Now, the reason complacency stunts the growth of men is because the world is unforgiving to men who are unmotivated and undisciplined. Let me repeat that. The world is unforgiving to men who are unmotivated and undisciplined. A man who does not embrace the masculine burden of performance will be left behind in every part of his life. His job, his dating life, his opportunities, everything. If we get lazy at work, we lose our jobs. If we are undisciplined and unmotivated, opportunities will pass us by. If we allow ourselves to slip in our relationships, we get replaced. The world lets men know very quickly and very clearly where we stand in terms of competence and value. We don't get the luxury of being shielded from our own flaws like modern women do. I say this all the time, guys, and I said it the other day when I was on the Saucecast. If I get fat, if I lose my drive to succeed, if I start feeling sorry for myself, and I fail to hold myself to a higher standard, Devin is going to leave. And she should. She isn't required to stick around if I get complacent, nor should she be. She's got every right to upgrade if I lose my edge. Everything around men here in 2023 is designed to punish us if we're not on our game. It is the natural order of things. And the natural order of things are constructed to reward men who strive to be exceptional and punish men who don't make an effort at all. Guys, you can call that unfair. You can call it whatever you want, but that's how the world works. The guy who is ultra competitive and always looking for new ways to improve himself, that guy's going to live a much better life than the guy who still lives with his parents at 35 and does nothing but masturbate to adult cartoon films, plays video games, and has no desire to improve his station in life. That's just the way things are for men. Women, on the other hand, live a very different existence when they get complacent. Regardless of value, a lazy woman gets excuses made for her. She doesn't suffer. If she's overweight and unmotivated to do little else but sleep around, not only is she not punished by society, she is actually praised. You're a woman, the world tells her. That is amazing enough. She hears this day in, day out. If her job performance suffers because of her laziness, she gets to keep her job because, well, she told her boss she's going through a lot right now. If she's overweight, doesn't watch her diet, or goes to the gym or work out, she's told that men should love her at her size. She's told that she is gorgeous and that beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. We've all heard that before, right? Girl gains, 40 pounds in 6 months? Her boyfriend isn't going to leave her. As far as feminism is concerned, he should stick around because he needs to love her both her heart and her mind, rather than being a shallow, misogynistic, toxic douchebag who only sees her as an object. Everything around women in 2023 is designed to reward women for no other reason but that they're women. The order of things in this day and age has been reconstructed. It's been retooled. It has been retooled to reward women who are shockingly below average, especially in relationships. They are quick to upgrade when their boyfriends start slipping, as they should. But when the tables are turned, now it's a problem. Okay, fine. He got fat and lazy and unmotivated. You lost attraction for him and you left. Good for you. You did the right thing. But if your boyfriend leaves you because of your weight gain, he gets eviscerated by anyone and everyone, oftentimes knowing full well that his critics are secretly on his side. But here's the thing, guys. Women know that they get comfortable when they feel secure in a relationship. They know this, and they outwardly acknowledge it. They tell their girlfriends, they have conversations about it. You guys will have to excuse my distraction here. I'm watching the penalty on James Bradbury against Juju Smith-Schuster in Super Bowl 38. Yeah, that was BS. He wouldn't have got there anyway. Anyway, when women are discussing amongst one another about how to keep a man, whether it's through text messages, conversations, message boards, Reddit, YouTube, whatever, a common adage among women is to not to get too comfortable in a relationship, or your boyfriend or husband is going to cheat on you or leave you altogether, and many times both. And just as a side note, the best behavior that most husbands see out of their wives is the period of time leading up to his proposal. If a woman knows or feels that her boyfriend is going to propose to her, or she hears that he's thinking about buying a ring, she is on her very best behavior. She's kind, she's attentive, she's feminine, she follows his lead, she's romantically open and available. She's the perfect girlfriend. Until, of course, she gets the ring. Because the minute he puts the ring on her finger, walks down the aisle and signs that godforsaken marriage license and certificate, she knows she can drop the trade. She knows she can go right back to being the cranky, bitchy, neurotic, complaining, hard to please banshee she truly is. 95% of men who experience this do not punish this behavior. In fact, they reward it by actually marrying her. Then 6 months later, they're blowing up my inbox, asking me, why is my wife not sleeping with me? Why are we not having sex? We're happy newlyweds. What gives? Well, the first answer to your question is something I've mentioned before. You got to get your hands on my newest free ebook, Dead Bedroom, The Cure for a Sexless Relationship at tsracademy.com. Actually, it's tsracademy.com/free. tsracademy.com/free. The second answer to that question, why is my wife not having sex with me, is if a woman knows, if she feels too secure, if she knows beyond the shadow of a doubt in her mind that you are not going anywhere, she will be the worst kind of significant other you can imagine. And this is the situation that most men find themselves in with their women today. They listen to television, movies, and social media that tells them make her feel secure. Tell her you're not going anywhere. Show her that you are here to stay. But then wonder why she stays out of pocket. Which brings me to today's article on everybody's favorite website, bold.com. And a special thanks goes out to Quentin D for submitting this article. Actually submitted this a while back. It is entitled 10 Things My Boyfriend Does to Make Me Feel Secure in Our Relationship. And it was written by Carrie Carmody. Now, Miss Carmody here waxes poetic about the things that her boyfriend does to make her feel oh so secure in her relationship with him. So surely he has her undying loyalty, devotion, and fidelity, right? Well, before we find out, I want you guys to make sure you get your hands on one of my very best ebooks, How to Train Your Woman. My very first interactive ebook takes you from A to Z in terms of building your candidate brick by brick into the kind of woman you want and need. From vetting and preparation to training, punishment, and reward to relationship maintenance, How to Train Your Woman will take you step by step through the entire process of building the kind of relationship that every man dreams of. Be sure to pick that up at howtorelationship.net. All right, let's get back to what we were talking about. Let's go ahead and start this article here. Again, I appreciate the $5 super chat there from Ken Rose. So the article starts. Let me just scroll down here so we're all on the same page. There we go. I've dated my fair share of guys, she starts, who constantly made me doubt our relationship and myself. It got to the point that I never thought it would be possible to feel so loved, comfortable, and happy with someone until I met my current boyfriend. You know, it's funny how she's indirectly telling us that her ex-boyfriends are her exes because they constantly made her doubt herself, right? She said that explicitly. They made me doubt myself. Yet, when we take a look around, the only men who have the undying loyalty of their women are the men who do quite literally the opposite of making them feel loved and comfortable. This is the trap, ladies and gentlemen, that both ladies and gentlemen fall into. Men read this stuff and they think to themselves, okay, all I have to do is make her feel loved and comfortable and I won't end up as her ex-boyfriend. And girls think, on the other side, if I could just find a guy who makes me feel loved and comfortable, I'd be happy. But what ends up happening is that the guy's girlfriend cheats her way out of the relationship for a guy that makes her feel anything but. And the girl wonders why her loving boyfriend, who makes her feel comfortable all the time, doesn't give her tingles anymore. Always a very good question. Carlos Diaz says, feel better, Donovan. Coffee definitely helps. You better effing believe it. Shout out to the lovely and talented Devin. For taking care of your boy, because I feel a lot better than I did about 10 minutes ago. Holy bleep. Jay Blaze is in the house. Okay, let's get it. Let's get into it. Let's continue. Let's go ahead and get into this madness. Number 1, he is honest and transparent about everything. And yes, she continues, that includes his past and the way he feels about me. I never have to wonder what he's thinking or question how he feels about me. Since the day I met him, she says, he has always been honest and open with me about anything and everything. I truly believe that honesty is one of the most important parts of a relationship, and because he's never lied to me, it's a lot easier for me to be completely open with him. He also never judges me or makes me feel bad about anything I tell him, even if it's something that embarrasses me. Guys, how many times do I have to point out that a man's romantic past is not the same as a female's romantic past? For this chick to act like she might have had a problem with him getting around in his past and being okay with it is simply trying to get the same treatment from him. Well, I forgave your past, so you should forgive mine. You slept around and I looked past it, so you should do the same for me. One of the many truths about the dating market, really from my point of view, is that red flags disqualify women for long-term relationships while they qualify men for every kind of sexual relationship with a woman. A woman with tattoos? Nope. Disqualified. Disqualified for anything more than... That too. Ignorance also gets you disqualified. I think that goes to say, I think that's Coach EO's favorite sound effect is ignorant. Dude actually called me up laughing, and I knew what it was about. Anyway, a man with tattoos? Yep. Qualified to be the father of all of her children. A woman who went to a 4-year college? Nope. Disqualified for a relationship given all the sausage she took on campus. A man who went to a 4-year college? Yep. A woman with a high body count? Nope. Disqualified for anything serious. A man with a high body count? Yep. Qualified for everything serious or otherwise. Later on, when she says, and he also never judges me or makes me feel bad about anything I tell him, she's talking about one thing and one thing only. And that is getting piped down by a lot of dudes. That's it. What else could she possibly tell him that he could pass judgment on her for? The fact that she likes to watch Game of Thrones, she has Game of Thrones party, her morbid obsession with the Kardashians. You see, guys, this is the kind of thing that indirectly tells men to just ignore a woman's sexual past. And then, of course, as a side note, she calls it her romantic past to water it down, like they all do. Oh, look, I'm not being judgmental. I'm not being judgmental about the train that got ran on her in college. That will totally make her want to stay with me. Yeah, that's a negative. And one more thing before we move to number 2 here. Just because your girl, just because you don't lie to your girl, does not mean that she is not going to lie to you. Remember, she said, quote, because he's never lied to me, it's a lot easier for me to be completely open with him. Notice how she didn't say, because he's never lied to me, I never lied to him. Nope. She said, it's a lot easier for me to be open with him. Okay, so it's easier to be completely open with him. That does not mean you're being completely honest with him. And just because it's easier doesn't mean that it's easy. Women lie as a matter of habit, guys. It's like second nature to them. And if you think for 1 second that she is going to reciprocate your honesty with her honesty, you deserve to be lied to. Jay Blaze, with the comment of the day so far, says, give her everything and she'll give you nothing. Yeah, that's how it works. It's unfortunate. Sad but true. Sad but true. Nasty Nabs says, let me guess, she got bored and cheated. You know, it's funny, Nasty Nabs. She actually writes another article a little later on in the year that says exactly that. This is so funny. Dude, this is so funny. This is what I love about this community. You guys are as sharp as they come. You guys are sharp as they come. Nasty Nabs, dude, Nasty Nabs already knows the dating arc of this woman. This is what happens when you decode women, man. This is what happens when you decode women. All right, let's go to number 2. He values my time. She continues. He doesn't take my presence for granted the way a lot of my partners did before. He makes sure I know that he appreciates when I spend time with him and doesn't just expect me to hang around. We take turns making decisions about how we spend our time together. Furthermore, when we are together, he rarely uses his phone. I'm not gonna lie, she says. I have a hard time staying off my phone most of the time. But the fact that my boyfriend rarely uses his when we're together motivates me to put mine away as well.
Stop the cap.
Oh, did I push that out loud? One of the most rude awakenings a man has when he fully digests the real truth about the dating market is when he discovers that the more you appreciate hoes, the less hoes appreciate you. Guys, 304s are used to being taken for granted by the bad boys. They're used to being shared. They're used to being used for the cheeks and then quickly discarded. Well, after they've served their purpose, which, of course, is to provide easy access to the cheeks, while simultaneously pretending that you both don't think she's a hoe and that she's doing this for the very first time, even though she somehow knew how to make your toes curl and your eyes roll to the back of your head at the same time, and then get the hell out of my house. Then when they actually get with a guy who actually treats her like a decent human being, they don't know how to act. And when it finally clicks in his mind, it's a sobering reality, guys. He's heard it and seen it before in articles and on podcasts, but now that he's seeing it up close and personal, he feels a little bit of sadness. He's kind of bummed out that he has figured out that he has to treat these kinds of girls like garbage to get better treatment from them. This is where Miss Carmody's boyfriend is headed, guys. She's happy now, but like I said before, girls who get passed around do not react well to good treatment. And like Nasty Nabs accurately predicted, eventually, she is going to get bored and cheat. The bottom line with number 2 is that the more you value a woman's time, the less she values yours. It shouldn't be this way, but that's the way it is. Ice Dragon Kid says, all red flags. Appreciate that very, very much. Mike the Supreme says, men care about a woman's past, women care about a man's future. Absolutely. Absolutely. Agree 100%. Let's continue. Number 4. He has no problem apologizing. If anything, he says if anything, he apologizes too much, she says. However, one of the reasons I feel so secure being with him is that he always takes responsibility for situations or problems without trying to make excuses or blame me for them. When I'm at fault, I have no issue doing the same.
Stop the cap.
Oops, did I press that out loud again? Guys, if you're paying attention, she gave herself away right at the beginning when she said that he apologizes too much, which means she doesn't like when he apologizes. And guys, make no mistake. Make no mistake. Listen closely. There is a big difference between saying, I'm sorry, and taking responsibility for your actions. Gentlemen, never, ever, ever tell a woman you are sorry about anything. In the 7.5 years I have known Devin, I have never, ever uttered the words, I'm sorry to her. Not one time, and she will attest to that. Have I messed up in the past? Yep. Have I said some things to her that maybe I shouldn't have said? You know it. Are there things that I could have handled differently? Absolutely. But I never say I'm sorry. Instead, I use phrases like, mistakes were made. Right? I take full responsibility for my actions. It was not my intention to make you feel that way. Now, I want you to listen very closely here because this is very important. And I think I might actually have this up. There we are. Yeah, look at this. I want you guys to listen and watch very, very closely. Women like it when you hold yourself accountable and take responsibility for your actions, but they hate it when you say, I'm sorry. Which is exactly why the very first thought that came to Carrie Carmody's mind was, quote, he apologizes too much. Then, of course, right at the end, she lies to us, again, when she says that because he takes responsibility, that she has no issue doing the same. And bless her little Jezebel heart, because I know she'd love to think that she could do what men do, but she knows she can't. Women simply do not hold themselves accountable for anything, no matter how many times you do. Get that through your head, guys. Dre Raven says, translation, he lets me get away with all sorts of nonsense, then he apologizes for my mistakes, right? Ice Dragon Kid says, so he apologizes even when it's her fault. F that. I'm telling you, man. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. Let's continue. Number 5, he builds me up instead of breaking me down. I wonder if she's ever heard of Casey and JoJo. I've dated a lot of guys who are insecure or overly jealous, she says, which is definitely not the case with my boyfriend. He loves when I'm confident in myself, and instead of making me feel guilty for dressing a certain way, wearing makeup, or doing my hair, he encourages me to be expressive. He also celebrates my successes and supports any dream I have without worrying that it might take attention or time away from him and our relationship. Now, I'll tell you a couple of things. Number 1, this paragraph has nothing to do with building her up. She just put this in here as a fancy header to give guys more terrible advice. The second thing is she's talking about a non-existent person. Like, I think it's obvious at this point that all of these writers at Bold and Thought Catalog, Carrie Carmody is talking about a man that doesn't exist. He simply does not exist. It's almost as though she's making things up to give both men and women hope, much the way Cosmopolitan did back in the 60s, when Sue Ellen Browder admitted in her book Subverted that they made up stories about suburban housewives who left their husbands to go work in the big city and lived happily ever after. This is no different. The man that Ms. Carmody is talking about absolutely does not exist. This is an imaginary character, but for the purposes of education, we will assume that he is real. Anyway, Here's what she is not telling us about why her past boyfriends were insecure and jealous. It's not that she dressed as though she were advertising herself to other men. And yes, gents, that is exactly what she means when she says dressing a certain way. It's always what they mean. But it's not that she dressed sexy that made them jealous. It's that she dressed it is that she dressed this way when she wasn't around her boyfriends. Like I said before, gentlemen, girls almost never give you the whole story. They never just give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. This woman wants us to think that her boyfriends were insecure only when she dressed up. But what she's leaving out is that she was dressing up and going to the club, going to the bar, going out with her friends without him. Guys, dudes are never just jealous or insecure for just no reason. It's always a two-way street. I say this tons of times in the 49 Laws of Sharpe. Never, ever, ever believe anything a woman says about her boyfriend. It is never the whole truth, and she will always leave something out, especially the parts that justify her behavior while simultaneously admonishing his. Standard operating procedure of today's 304s. The Level Up Man says, translation, he makes it extremely easy to cheat. Womanese 101. Ice Dragon Kid says, can't guess up these 304s. They will immediately try to upgrade. You better believe it. Dre Raven says, Miss Carmody is telling us about her boyfriend, George Glass. That's funny. Number 6. He shows up for me no matter what the situation is. She continues, if I ask him to do something for me, I don't have to beg him or convince him to show up. He is more than happy to be there for me in all situations. Whether it's a trip to the doctor's office, going out to a bar with my friends, oh boy, or running boring errands. I love that I can count on him for anything and know that he will be by my side through life's through the ups and downs of life. Oh boy. Sounds to me like she calls him to go and bail her out of situations she gets into when she goes out. Anyway, it is beyond me that men are still blinded by the fact that women are always talking out of both sides of their mouths when talking about what they want in a man. Women don't normally drop raw truth, at least not consciously or on purpose. It just doesn't work that way. Girls just aren't that smart, right? But one thing that most women will tell you is a turnoff to them is when a guy is too available. Guys, most girls would readily admit that a guy who is too available or a guy who's always around is a turnoff. They talk about this all the time. Yet, here's Miss Carmody applauding the very behavior that most women have no issue admitting is a turn off. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong here. I want to make one thing very, very clear. Please believe, if she has earned your commitment and attention, then you absolutely need to be there for her. Don't be meathead red pill guy thinking it's all give and no take on her end. Gotta remember, gentlemen, women need a return on their investment too. A lot of guys say, well, I'm not going to give her free attention. Okay, fair enough. And it's incumbent upon her to earn it. But if she puts it out there and lets you know that she likes you and only you and treats and gives you that boyfriend treatment, it's only fair to reciprocate that if that's what you're looking for. Anyway, don't be meathead red pill guy, right? Because if you're not reciprocating her level of commitment, time, and dedication, then don't expect her to hang around too long, regardless of how high your value is. Your presence and support, keep this in mind, guys. Your presence and your support must always be commiserate with her treatment of you. Let me repeat that. Your presence and support must always be commiserate with her treatment of you. If she treats you well, you treat her well. If she treats you like garbage, then kick her ass to the curb. But being there for a woman all the time, just because she lets you clap the cheeks, that's going to get old with her very quickly. Then when you tearfully ask why she cheated on you with Dave, the unemployed garage band guitar player, who may or may not have been in prison for statutory EPAR, the first thing she'll say is, what? You were just too available. Ice Dragon Kid says he lets her run amok. Yes, he does. Shane Will Lynn says it's their kryptonite every single time, brother. Let's move to number 7. He doesn't try to control or change me. She continues. He supports me and loves me exactly the way I am and encourages me to be myself. I find it odd how many of my personality traits that have attracted guys in the past become things that they want to change about me once they get into a relationship, like my spontaneity, my friendliness, and my sense of style. My boyfriend has never tried to control or change anything about me, but the way he treats me and his approach to life in general inspires me to be a better person. I love how she characterizes her impulsiveness, her flirtatious temperament, and her inappropriate wardrobe as spontaneity, friendliness, and sense of style. But let's back it up here a little bit. When she said he doesn't try to control or change me. When she says this, gentlemen, what she means is he doesn't try to rid me or break me of the habits that lead to cheating. That is all any girl ever means when she says this. When I met Devin, I liked her personality. I did. Still do. I liked her temperament. Right? She's introverted. She tells bad jokes that are actually quite funny, and she is good company. Now, those are a few of the reasons I took a liking to her outside of intimacy. But I didn't set out to change her. I liked who she was. So I set out to change her behavior and her I set out to change her behavior, not her personality. I set out to change her habits. Right? And the habits I set to change were the habits that could lead to cheating. Because if men were honest, our boundaries and expectations are exactly that. Things we put in place to protect our relationships. That's all it ever is. So I didn't try to control or change her at all. It's not what I did. Nope, I gave her choices. Either give up these habits or we keep our relationship casual. Well, she chose the former, and now we're less than 3 months away from walking down the aisle and showing the world our elevated level of commitment that presents very little discernible risk to me. Gentlemen, any girlfriend who says her boyfriend is controlling and is trying to change her is telling you in no uncertain terms that she is doing and saying things that puts a relationship at risk. Women are always attempting to shame men out of putting parameters in place that keep them from putting themselves in situations where cheating could happen or where cheating could be started. You guys saw a great example of that when I reacted to my Saucecast appearance last night. Then at the end, she says not attempting to stamp out her bad behavior, quote, inspires her to be a better person. And gentlemen, that is 5,447% false. That is not how you inspire a woman. You inspire a woman to be a better person by ridding her of the habits that devalue her as a woman. And if she truly wants a solid relationship that makes her a better person because she chooses to, then guess what? She'll have no problem ridding herself of the habits that gave modern women a bad reputation. I'm going to skip number 8. It's just filler. Really? So let's just go to number 9 here. I know that no matter what happens in life, I never have to be afraid or worried about the way my boyfriend will react to a situation, whether it's good or bad, my fault or not. He's very level-headed and doesn't react to anything without thinking, which makes me feel very safe. Gentlemen, these are the musings of a woman who is way too comfortable. When she says, I know that no matter what happens in life, she means no matter what I do or say, if I am disrespectful or do anything that is clearly my fault, I don't have to worry about him flying off the handle. Now, some of you might think, okay, Donovan, it's very important for a man to hold frame in any and all situations, and you would be right. Staying level-headed is something I struggle with, and it's something I work on every freaking day. And trust me, it ain't easy. It ain't easy, but if I don't get a handle on this, my life is going to be far more difficult than it has to be. I thought I did a pretty good job a couple of nights ago. Right at the end, I finally opened up and hit her with the one-hitter quitter. And then, of course, that's where everyone sees, oh, he's rude, he's this, he's that. They berated me for a half an hour before I finally said something. That doesn't matter. Anyway, when it comes to disrespectful behavior, gentlemen, sometimes you need to bare your teeth. Sometimes you do need to raise your voice a little bit and let her know verbally that you are not here for the shenanigans. I'm not saying you need to act all crazy and get in her face and scream at her. As a matter of fact, lowering your voice and making strong eye contact, that's one of the best ways to subdue a woman's emotional escapades. But I am in no way suggesting that baring your teeth means being physically or verbally evasive spelled backwards. But I will say this. Based on my extensive experience with women, they do not respect men who try to be the strong and silent type when she catches an attitude with you or gets out of pocket. Modern women don't want the goddamn Marlboro Man, guys. They don't want the sexy cowboy sitting by himself in the corner of a saloon as if he's the baddest dude in the dude bar just waiting to clear the room when shit gets real. Women know that's make-believe, at least most of them do. Rather, they respect men who can grab their balls and say, and look them square in the eye and tell them, watch your mouth. And maintain eye contact until she gives you her verbal compliance. And as a side note, if you ever tell your girl or a girl you're seeing to watch her mouth, and she responds with an attitude, or dare I say, verbal non-compliance, as in telling you no, or what are you going to do if I don't, calmly walk away from her, get in your car, turn off your phone, and disappear for 3 days. I guarantee one way or another, she's either going to shape up or she's going to drop out of your life. Either way, you got to worry about that disrespect. Anyway, women know the difference between quiet confidence and silent jitters. And the last time I checked, it's not against the law to raise your voice at your woman, at least not yet. So you can maintain frame all you want to. You'll just end up like Carrie Carmody's boyfriend who gets talked to in any old kind of way because she never has to worry about how he's going to react. Shout out to Axel Stone, newest member of Chat Privileges, at Axel Stone, to welcome him to the TSR family. Axel, if you would, put your age and location in the chat, as is customary of our first channel member. We are going to do a chat-wide age and location check. Yeah, right. Desmond Montgomery says, hold her accountable like you hold your kid accountable. If she doesn't like it, then she's a rebel, which means she's not relationship material. And guys, you got to hold yourselves accountable too. Dude, today I had to sit down with Dev. And told her, hey man, there are some things that I have done in the past that I probably should have done a little bit differently. You know, didn't apologize, didn't say I'm sorry, said, look, here, over the past few years, XYZ ABC, took accountability for it. It's over and done with. It's over and done with. And, look, bless Devin's heart. I wasn't even thinking about it. Of course she was. Of course she was. She's just not that nagging bitch. Let's go to number 10, finally. He compliments me often, but not just about my looks. Don't get me wrong, she continues. He tells me how beautiful and hot I am, which, of course, I appreciate. Good. However, he compliments my personality, my work, my talents, and the way I treat other people just as much, and maybe even more. He makes sure I know that he thinks I'm the most beautiful woman in the world, but also that my best and most important qualities have nothing to do with the way I look. Let me tell you guys a story about something I learned selling used cars. And stay with me here, because I'm going to bring it right back around and tie it into my observation here with number 10. I've had a lot of sales jobs in my life. I've sold everything from, vacations to cell phones, foreclosure listings, furniture, magazine ads, mattresses, cruises, so on and so forth. You name it, I've sold it. Well, much like most lifelong salesmen, I've had a few stints selling cars. I sold both new cars and used cars. New car sales has its challenges, but by and large, it's a fairly straightforward process and doesn't really come with too much red tape. Customer sees a car he wants, he gets finances, drives off the lot, end of story. Now, selling used cars, that's an entirely different game. There are different concerns, different clientele. Customers who go to high-end car lots, what they're worried about is paying too much. They're worried about getting price gouged. Customers who come into a used car lot, they're worried about the car breaking down a mile down the road. The car's reliability, the warranty. High-end car lot customers, they ain't worried about the reliability of the cars. It's brand new. It's not going to give you any trouble. If it does, you get a new one. No, they're concerned with the interest rate. They're concerned with possibly getting price gouged. Now, used car customers aren't really worried about the car breaking down and credit. I'm sorry, let me repeat that. Used car customers are worried about the car breaking down and credit. Because if people had good credit, they'd go to high-end car lots if they didn't have the cash to buy a car outright. But if they don't have enough to get the title and they have bad credit, they have to go to a used car lot where the credit standards are a little more relaxed. Sometimes you have car lots that finance you regardless of credit because they put a GPS on your car, then jack up the interest rate. These are I never worked at one, but I think they're called buy here, pay here lots. Or pay here, buy here. Either way. Anyway, something that happened to me twice when I sold used cars is that I'd have a customer come in and they'd tell me, Donovan, I have bad credit, but I need a car. So, I'm giving them all the lines. Don't worry, Mr. Customer, we got you covered. We're going to find a bank to finance you. We're going to put you in a car today if it's the last thing we do. So they're all excited because they're going to get a new car, right? Or so I thought. So I ran their credit, and again, this happened to me twice before I caught on. But I ran their credit, and their FICO score was somewhere in the neighborhood of 650, which isn't the best credit score, but it's not terrible. More importantly, that's the kind of score that would allow a customer to go to a high-end car lot and finance a brand new car. So the first time this happened to me, I said, hey, Mr. Customer, your car is actually pretty good. You're going to be able to finance any car you want on the lot. Now, the first time I told a customer that they had better credit than they thought, they were ecstatic. They got excited. They're looking at the cars and everything, but I didn't make the sale, and I had no idea why. I thought to myself, well, the guy had decent credit, right? He didn't think he could get approved for financing, so why didn't he buy a car? Well, a few months later, this happened to me a second time. Same old thing. I have bad credit, but I need a car. Run the guy's credit. Once again, mid-600s. His was a little higher. I think he was like in the 660s, 670s or something like that. Again, the kind of score that could get a customer financed at a high-end car lot for a brand new car. So again, I tell the customer, hey, good news, you've got pretty good credit. But this time, the guy's wife said to him right in front of me, well, why don't we just go to Toyota then? I was quick on my feet and I said, well, because they're going to charge a higher interest rate, which means a higher car payment. And the guy starts nodding and says, yeah, we don't want a higher car payment. But I could see in his face, he was full of it. And I was right. They told me that they would go home and think about it, and I never saw him again. What those two experiences taught me was that if a person thought they had bad credit, let them continue to think that even if they didn't. Now, obviously you can't get away with that these days because people can get their credit scores on their phones in like 15 seconds. But back then it wasn't like that. Customers had to take our word that they were either approved or that they weren't. But from then on, if a customer came in and told me that they had bad credit, I'd continue to make them think that they did, even if I found out their FICO score was a 680. Because the minute a customer knows they have more car buying options, they will never buy from you. They couldn't care less if their interest rate is 8 points higher at a high-end car lot. They're getting a brand new car. When less than 24 hours ago, they weren't sure that they could buy a used junk bucket with a GPS somewhere they couldn't find. Women are the same as car customers, gentlemen. A woman's value is dictated solely by the way men respond to and treat them. If most men a woman interacts with treats her favorably, meaning they give her compliments, they're nice to her, they do favors for her, they look at her, they give her attention, and make it clear through their actions that they would commit to her, then she knows she's got options, or good credit, if you will. Well, the less credit or value a woman has in the way of looks, personality, and overall femininity, the more she'll have to compromise when it comes to men. Pearl talks about this all the time. She's like, hey man, us normal-looking girls, we got to try a little harder. It's easy for hot girls to get commitment because, well, they're hot. But average-looking girls like us, we got to bring a little more to the table besides PTA, besides the cheeks. You guys know how that goes. Hot girls get to hook up with, date, and marry the best guys out there. They get to be with the best looking, the richest, the most talented, the highest value men out there. Now, the not so attractive women, they usually get the leftovers, the used cars of the dating world. And they're generally okay with it because they know they don't have as much value to men as the high value girls. Yeah, they'll moan and groan about it on social media. They'll talk a bunch of shit about how men are shallow and only care about looks, and about how men compromise their standards to appease the fat, ugly women of the world, but they know the score. They know how the world works, and it's so funny. It's so funny. The same women who endorse men going after older women are the same women who talk trash about me because Devin is 1 year older than I am. Can't make this stuff up. Anyway, to bring it back around here, like I promised earlier, a huge mistake guys are making with their women is the same mistake I was making with customers who had better credit than they thought. The same mistake that thirsty dudes make when gassing up fat, ugly chicks, like Linda, whatever the hell her name is. And that is showering a woman with compliments and approval, telling her she's beautiful all the time, telling her how much she loves her every day, constantly telling her how smart she is, how great she is. And the same thing that happened to me on that used car lot is going to happen to them in their relationships. And here's how. Pay attention. At some point, if a girl hears all these glowing remarks about herself, eventually she's going to subconsciously think to herself, I think I can do a lot better. If I can impress Steve this much, then I could easily get with Kevin, the hot sales guy at work. I mean, I always knew I was a catch. But maybe I've been selling myself short and settling for less than I deserve. I think I'm going to explore my options and see what else is out there. I'm going to start with Kevin in sales. I might even swing by Dave's band practice and see what he's up to. Gentlemen, this is what happens when you blow sunshine up your woman's you-know-what too much. She starts to believe all of your hyperbolic narrative about her. She hears and sees it so much that she internalizes, and ultimately she truly believes it. Let me ask you guys this. You ever seen a 5 who acts like a 10? You ever seen a 5 who acts like a 10? You ever seen women who are not attractive who act like they're attractive? Well, one such example that I can think of is this one right here. This one right here. I don't even know what her name is. Linda, whatever her name is. She's the bitch. She's the bitch who thinks that she has, she thinks she matters more than she does, all right? She's got a couple of pictures with Donald Trump. She's one of these What TradCon thoughts? Yeah, 49ers. Yep, that's a good one. Right? A woman who looks like this with her attitude, that's the result of men gassing her up too much. Her false sense of confidence in terms of her sexual market value, let's not even get into a relationship market value, but in terms of her sexual market value, is indicative of a woman who's been gassed up too much. She's not attractive. She is overweight. She photoshops all of her pictures. But this is what happens, guys. Then you ask yourself, well, why does she act like she's so hot? She's got a hair on her second chin and a lazy eye. Who in the world does she think she is? Well, I'll tell you who she thinks she is. She thinks she's hot stuff and the complete package because she's got a boyfriend who showers her with attention, validation, and compliments 24/7, like all the Facebook memes tell him to do in order to keep her happy and have a great relationship. But here's the thing. She doesn't have a boyfriend. I'll just leave it at that. But let's take the typical man situation, right? The guy who's gassing his girlfriend up all the time. It's unhealthy. It's unhealthy. He's doing quite literally the opposite. He's filling her head with so much crap that she really does think that she's hot shit who could have any guy she wants, and it won't be long before she steps out on him. Now, let me be clear here. Let me be perfectly clear here. Nobody is suggesting that you never compliment your woman. Listen, guys, they need our validation. They need our approval. They need to know when they're doing it right. That's what drives and motivates them. But if you withhold your praise when she clearly deserves it, she's only going to tolerate that for so long, especially when they really make an effort to please you and to make you happy. Guys, a girl needs to know that her man is pleased with her, but if and only if she deserves it. And you're the judge of that, not her. She wants your approval, not her own. She can talk all the trash she wants about what a great catch she is and have 150 thirsty dudes agree with her. And about how she's, have had men spend, $1,500 on her on a date. I guess the sex was good that night. But none of that means anything to her. No, what she wants and needs is your approval, validation from you. But by the same token, you have to be fair, guys. Don't be unreasonable. If she looks good, guys, tell her she looks good. Now, if you're like me and you're not really one to verbally compliment your woman that often, use action compliments. For example, if your girl is looking good, smack her ass. Your girl will not be confused as to how you feel about the way she looks if you smack her ass. Sometimes I'll walk up to Devin, I'll grab her ass and kiss her on the neck. The point is that if you're appreciative of what she does for you, let her know. But going back to the other side here, giving her residual approval for something she does only one time is counterproductive. Telling her she's hot every day because she dressed up 3 months ago isn't helping either of you. Telling her she's an unbelievable cook because she made you a 7-course meal a year ago is going to make her lazy. Count on it. She'll stop trying because you're giving her validation without her earning it again. You're giving her attention she doesn't deserve, and at some point, human nature is going to kick in, and she's going to put in less and less effort for something she knows she can get for free, which is why she doesn't make an effort to look good for you anymore and laughs when you ask her what she's cooking you for dinner. This mostly peaceful Latinx chick, I don't even know what her name is. Her name is Linda, right? It's not Linda's fault. It's not Linda's fault she's a bitch. It's not her fault she's a bitch. I mean, listen, we can all talk about how she has an attitude problem. Guys, it's our fault that she has an attitude problem. It's our fault that she has an attitude problem. The problem is Linda's too dumb to realize that the men who are giving her validation are not men worth pursuing. Well, Adam Sosnick told me I was a catch. Is that right? How many women do you know that have come onto Sosnick's platform that would actually bang him just based on the way he acts? Other than possibly Natalia. How many? Not saying that Sosnick doesn't count, but if Sosnick is sliding into your DMs, he's not doing it because he wants to smash. He's doing it because he wants you on the show. If your woman has a disrespectful tone with you, guys, look her in the eye and say, watch your tone. If your woman makes you a really nice steak dinner and the presentation is on point, thank her and acknowledge the nice presentation. Now, if you're wondering, pardon me, how often you should reward your woman, it depends on the situation, but it's not complicated. And if you're a little confused, don't sweat it. I got you covered. I outlined this particular area of training extensively in one of my very best ebooks, How to Train Your Woman. I talk about when your woman goes above and beyond to verbally acknowledge and reward roughly 30 to 40% of the time. Let me repeat that. One of the chapters in there talks about when your woman goes above and beyond. When your woman goes above and beyond, that is when you acknowledge and reward her roughly 30 to 40% of the time. You don't want to do it all the time because then, well, she starts to take it for granted. If you don't make some big production out of her going above and beyond, then she's not going to want to do it again. This is why you have to quell those expectations. And if she messes up, if she screws up, you need to punish her. That's right, I said punish her no less than 100% of the time. Nothing complicated on the punishment side. She messes up, she pays the price. She pays the price 100% of the time. That's all there is to it. And by the way, punishing your woman, all that means is simply removing yourself from the situation. Not giving her access to your time, energy, attention, and resources. If she really likes you, she'll shape up. If she doesn't, she won't. And that's just the way it is. Now, there's much more to it than that. So if you want to get your hands on the next level game in this ebook, head over to howtorelationship.net to check that out. Anyway, do not shower her with compliments for mediocre effort, gentlemen. If she does something she's supposed to be doing anyway, every once in a while, show her a little appreciation. But don't make a big production out of it, guys. You don't need your woman expecting you to sing her praises for remembering to stop and grab some bottled water. Every so often, just say, thanks, I appreciate that. I know it was hot out there. And just leave it at that. Gentlemen, do not tell your woman she's awesome all the time. And I gotta tell you, and I'm being real here, it can be a challenge if you do have a good woman. Like, guys, Devin's not perfect and she's no unicorn, but she is so very good to me. She is so very good to me. And I appreciate that she is good to me. I'm so appreciative that I don't know, maybe I'm kind of giving up the game here. I want to compliment Devin a lot more than I do. Because she's not perfect, but dude, anything I ask her to do, she does it without question. Even still, do not tell your woman she's awesome all the time. If she's acting right, let her know. If she's out of pocket, put her back in pocket. Don't tell her she's the greatest woman who's ever graced the face of the earth all day, every day. Because at some point, she's gonna take it for granted and go to the Toyota dealership, just like Carrie Carmody is going to do if her boyfriend continues to shower her with praise for little to no reason. In the end, guys, the things that we have to do to keep a woman in line these days, it's a travesty. It really is. It's a travesty. As men, we shouldn't have to make a conscious effort not to make today's women feel too secure. Let's just ask backwards. But a man with even a modicum of awareness knows and understands that the more secure a modern woman feels in a relationship here in 2023, the worse she will behave. This is why girlfriends are better than wives, guys. Law number 19 of the 49 Laws of Sharpe. You can up and leave your girlfriend with little to no collateral damage. This is why they're more motivated to treat you better than wives are. Wives know they have you by the balls in the form of a marriage contract, which she can use to detonate your life should you decide to divorce her. I know this sucks, guys. I know this sucks. I don't like that I had to become who I had to become to be successful with women. But guess what? I wanted to be successful with women, so I did what I had to do. I know this sucks, guys, but thankfully, we have more options available to us here in 2023. Here in 2023, you got a few options. You can you can either adopt. You can either adapt, rather. Let me start that again. You can A, adapt, B, get left behind, C, get your passport and go overseas, or D, check out altogether and not deal with women on any level. I don't think I'm breaking news here when I say that women are not what we have been raised to believe they are. They are not what your mother and father told you they are. They are not what television and movies say they are. They are a completely different species altogether. And if you want to, at the very least, keep them from turning your life upside down, then this is what's necessary. And if you think it's worth it to deal with women and would like to know how to do it effectively, howtorelationship.net is where you need to go. But like I said, I don't blame you if you don't. I really don't. I used to be hard. I used to be really, really hard on the MGTOW guys, the incel guys. I used to be real hard on those guys. I used to be really, really hard on those guys. But I'm going to tell you what, man. Being out of the game for as long as I have and just watching and experiencing today's women, I'm thinking to myself, dude, I mean, honestly, I'm Donovan Sharpe, Mr. Red Pill, blah, 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 blah. I would be hard pressed to summon the energy to deal with today's women sexually. I can almost deal with them on podcasts, sure. But holy smokes, if Devin and I were to ever split up for whatever reason, this is the last relationship I'm ever going to be in. I am not trying to be with these bitches out here. Not a mother effing chance. Not a motherfucking chance. All right, very good. Great show, man. Great show. I'm going to start my doubleheader breakdown here in a few minutes. I know a lot of you guys, and I see a lot of you guys support me in the comments, and I greatly appreciate you guys support me in the comments. A lot of you guys have pointed out the fact that my channel is stagnated, and it has. It has. It happens. It has. It is what it is. But that's not going to stop me, guys. That's not going to stop me. I don't know how else to tell you. I mean, listen, I'm good financially. I'm solid. At this point, now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to do this for free, right? I'm not going to do this for free. Like, please believe. But at this point, I'm really doing it because this is what I love to do. And it's weird, man. Every time I go into a Wawa, which is the convenience store chain here in the Northeast, specifically Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and I see I think the lottery, I don't know, maybe somebody won the Powerball already. But every time I see it's some crazy number like $600 million or something like that, I always think to myself, what would I do? What would I do if I were to win the Powerball? And the first things that come to mind are, boom, event. Like, dude, I'd have CMEs every month, man. I'd have CMEs every month. I'd charge $50 to $100 for people to come. And the reason for that is because this is really what I love to do. This is where you know, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard this before, but I forget where I heard this, but you know you love what you do if you would do it for free, right? If you were to be set for life and you never had to worry about money again, what would you do? I would do this. I would do this for the rest of my life. So look, if I'm stuck at 172,000 subscribers for the next 5 years, guess what? TSR Live moves on, man. TSR Live moves on. At this point, I'm not in it for the views. I'm not in it for the numbers. I'm really trying to help people. I really am trying to help people because you guys have, like I said, man, you guys have changed my fucking life, man. You really have. These last few years have been unbelievable. And, I mean, like I say, man, I sometimes I feel guilty for not providing you guys with the volume and the quality of the content because of the life I live. It's a weird dynamic. Like, I still feel like I owe you guys. Merch. And I don't think that's ever going to change, man. I really, really don't. I really, really don't. You guys are the I mean, you know, it's just, to me, it's a really, really cool feeling that people actually listen to what I have to say and they pay to listen to what I have to say. That's something I'm never going to get used to. So, just so you guys are wondering, I'm not going anywhere. Like I said, no, I'm not going to do this for free. Unless, of course, I win the lottery. I'm not going to do this for free. I've still got bills to pay. I've got financial goals I need to meet. I've got a Shelby Cobra I need to pay off. I can't wait for that. Right? So yeah, keep supporting, keep sending in those super chats. But if you really want to, help the channel, just, share the video, guys. Share the video, send the links. Anyone who pees standing up. And you'll be doing your part. Likes and shares are absolutely free. Absolutely free. So what we're going to do now is we are going to transition. We are going to transition to Rumble. We're going to transition to Rumble. We are going to do a dating show breakdown double header. Temptation Island and the Big D. I was texting with King Life earlier, man. I was like, yo, I'm going to do a double header. He's like, yo, the guys are going to love it. I said, bruh, I look forward to these as much as you guys do, man. I really, really do. I can't wait. Ken Rose with the $2 Rumble rant. OK says, you're awesome, my guy. You helped me get off and break up. Good. I appreciate that, man. Apollo on the Rumble side says, that's exactly what Jonah Hill said to his ex-girlfriend, and she tried to shame him for it. Change your habits or we don't have to be together. That's all he said. That's it. G. Lee with the $5 super chat says, you are the voice for the voiceless. Wow. I appreciate that, man. Dr. B84 says, I haven't seen a doubleheader in a while. Dude, Shohei Ohtani had the greatest day in baseball. I don't want to get into that because this ain't a sports broadcast. I'm going to be launching a sports talk channel here very, very soon. I love sports too much. I consume them way too much not to want to talk about it. So, at any rate, that is going to do it for this, the 998th edition of TSR Live. My thanks to all of my super chatters, my members, my patrons, my locals, supporters. Follow us over on rumble.com. The link is pinned in the chat. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
I ain't gonna lie, but baby girl bad. She got that melanin skin. She got that melanin skin. She got that melanin skin. I ain't finna lie, but baby girl fine. She got some melanin in her. Yeah, she got that melanin in her. She got that melanin skin. For all the ladies with melanin that's comfortable in their element. You a natural baby, that's evident. All the shade they throw your way is irrelevant. That shade you rock can be like medicine. Always on point, I respect your regimen. But you was bred to win, so you don't really gotta try. Other bitches style jack and wonder why. Cause they wanna be like you. They be buying booty that you grew natural. But they be trying to tan so they look like you. Trying to keep a man so they cook like you. Light skinned, dark skinned, it don't even matter cause they both fine skinned. Baby, either way, we the shit though. Love watching your body move to the
All right, guys, welcome to the daily dating show breakdown. I am now going to say goodbye to my YouTube audience. Again, I greatly appreciate you guys' support. If you guys want to come over and join in the fun that we're having, we have a blast. We have an absolute blast over on Sharpe Stream and Rumble. We cut up, we have a good time, we talk a bunch of shit, and we have a good time learning about female nature. So